and I'm Monica from livinglight.in, and today's topic is the inner world. And I don't know, like, what all you may be kind of expecting from this topic. Even I don't know what will come out. But what I wanted to kind of begin talking about, or kind of throwing it in front for discussion, uh, was this, this inner world that we often forget, this inner world of a knowing, kind of feeling, sensing. And it's always nice to kind of get back home, right? So with that said, I would like to ask all of you to share maybe in the chat window, and what all exactly kind of pulled you towards this topic, or maybe if I can know what are you looking for to be explored, maybe one can take that up. Or maybe you just came because the topic was interesting, that is also one possibility. And what does inner world mean to you, so if you could share in the chat window a few lines, a few sentences, or you can also unmute and share if you are comfortable with that. So please feel free. Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Uma. Thanks for inviting.
Yeah.
I live in Aurobindo. The topic was very related to my field of spirituality, so I thought give and take will help us grow together in the journey of spirituality. Like, as we all know, this journey is something very, very, very essential in the path of spirituality. So I thought this topic interested me. Just I entered in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Umaji. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Yes. Anyone else? Yeah. So those of us who would like to unmute and share are also welcome, or if you would like to type in the chat window, then I can read it out for everyone and also for the recording.
Hello everyone.
Yeah. Hi Ritu.
This thank you for this session. Actually, this topic interests me a lot because when I saw the promotion of the session, I saw a word called rejection.
Mm.
And personally, I feel that for a person like me, for a long period of time, I attached myself to this word, and I would really like to explore, how you can discuss it today and how we see rejection.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm here and I'm so much looking forward to this session.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Ritu. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So anyone else? Okay. So Taru shares, this topic sounded very mystical, and how the poster depicted how we are always connected to the roots, no matter how far we think we may have come. Yes, or how far we think we are. Yeah, true. So true. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, anyone else would like to share? Aradhana, Enna, or Gurpreet ji? What exactly about this topic? Yeah, so I'll just read out the comments. So Ina says we are always obsessed and occupied with our inner thoughts and feelings. Very interesting. Yes, Ina. Radhana ji says inner world to me is a combination of chaos, stillness, restlessness, and ego. But I know having all these emotions inside me, my ultimate aim should be to be in stillness and peace. Beautiful. How to remain in that peace and stillness is the question. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yes,
Monica.
yes, Gurpreet ji. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I think this topic pulled me because my whole life, till now I mean, this is 5 years since last 5, 10 years, I'm working upon it actively.
Yeah.
But I feel most of my life has passed in a big chaos, not knowing my own self at all. I was
Mm,
completely in a numb state.
yeah.
uh, this Right now I'm on the path of self discovery. Let me tell you, knowing
Mm,
myself is my bigger
mm,
quest right now. And
mm,
anything related to it, any
mm,
kind of talk session, anything
mm,
that comes, I don't leave a chance to either hear or read it.
mm, mm.
So that was what pulled me here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. So, Sakshi, would you like to share or maybe later? Okay, great. So let's then pick up a few from the threads that you have left in front. I think they are beautiful indicators of how we can actually, and why do we want to do that? All of us want to meet ourselves, and we feel that we have strayed, many a times, as Taru was sharing, that we feel that we have strayed away from it, far away from it, but then we are always connected with it as well. As Radhana ji is sharing, that it's a combination, stillness is also there. I cannot deny the stillness, but at times we are overwhelmed by chaos and restlessness. So I would be taking a few words on which I will kind of, elaborate upon, try to kind of discuss it out, throw it in front. And the first word that I want to take is inner truth. My inner truth. As a child, we are all born connected with our inner truth. And that is why whenever a child is uneasy, he's feeling the discomfort, or he's not, how does he communicate? He kind of cries, he does not know the language, so he cries. That is his language. And by that, he declares that this is not in sync, something must be done. So, what happens with us adults over time is that we compromise a lot with our inner truth, this inner knowing. And I believe that we compromise a lot, in order to please people, in order to make others happy. We put our inner knowing and inner truth at stake. It's a big kind of a loss, actually. And as Gurpreet ji was sharing, that I feel that I have kind of I lost the touch with myself over these years. And that's so true. That happens with all of us, each human being, and that is the journey that we have to travel back. First, connecting to this deeper inner truth that is present with all of us, within all of us, that no matter if I am able to make others happy or not, I know this is the right action to be done, and I just know it. There is no explanation for it. Many a times you would see, I'm sure we all have touched that space of inner truth. It's not that we haven't. And we all can know that in moments of our life we have chosen to act many a times from our inner truth. We have also strayed. That's a different part, that's a part of the game. We have also strayed. But can we more and more allow ourselves to get in touch with this deeper inner knowing, inner truth, for about what we cannot say much, but we can know it. I just know that this is what I should do in this moment. One just knows, right? So, and this inner truth is really kind of, I would say it's because it's very subtle, it's not very loud thing, and that is why we ignore it. A person's reaction is very loud. A person may shout on me. So that drama becomes so overwhelming for me that I am ready to compromise with the inner truth. Because inner truth cannot be heard. I can just sense it. I can know that I am not there where I must be if I was to follow my own track. I can know it. But that other drama happening in front of me kind of sways me away because it's too loud. It sometimes also makes me afraid, makes me anxious. And then we look forward to the maybe what is the in future that may happen. Maybe this person hits me. These are the stakes. Maybe he asks me to go out of the house. If I don't agree to what he or she is saying, although I may be not following my inner truth, if I may be agreeing to that person. So this is how we keep on compromising back to back over the years. And then we feel one day, when we are really tired or we have time actually to reflect, then we begin to feel, this is not the place where I would like to be. Something is wrong. Something is not right. You don't know exactly what is not right because we have strayed too far. But we know that this is not who I am. I don't feel myself. As if all the blows have been just hitting from me from here and there, and I have been kind of, molding and denting myself owing to the blows. But in that kind of denting and molding and all that, I forgot to be myself. Shamelessly myself, I would say. Because one needs to be shameless because, people will try from all the sides, our relationships, our family, our friends, because if we want to be truthful and honest to our own self, our own inner truth, we will see that many a times I will disappoint people. We see that. We all have experienced that. Whenever we say our truth out loud, for example, if somebody asks me for a party and I know that I don't feel comfortable in that party, it just makes me more restless. I don't want to be there. So what the moment I am about to speak my inner truth out, that yes, I don't want to be there, I hope you understand. Immediately the reaction of the person comes in front of my face, oh, what would he think? Oh, he would think that I don't love him. These kind of things. And oh, if they are too overpowering on me, or if I don't value my inner truth much, then I will very easily yield in. I will say, chal chalte hain yaar. Right? I would not care about that inner feeble voice. Although I may end up actually feeling restless after I come back from the party, and throughout the party also I may feel completely here and there, and not myself. So the stake is, yes, Ritu, yeah. We all have, yes, Ritu, with you, totally. We all have faced this. Like we have in both parties at one moment of the time. We have been the person who wants that action to happen, no matter the other person has to betray her inner truth or his inner truth. And we have also been the person on the other side where I am wanting to express my inner truth, but the overpowering effect of the external situation sways me, and I am not able to stand my ground. So that is why the importance of first listening to this inner world, because I sense it, I know it that I am feeling uneasy. That is first. Second is to realize how important it is for me in this life. Only I can decide the importance of it, right? Third is, no matter how many people reject me, am I ready to be shamelessly standing with my inner truth? Because we will lose friends. We lose friends because not everybody is a friend of truth. We all have our phases in life. So there may be people in our life who are not a friend of truth, and if you begin to say out your inner truth in front of them, they feel that, okay, I'm done with this boy, I'm ready to move out. But the people who are actually with truth and love, it's not possible that if you begin to express your inner truth, they kind of chuck you out or reject you. I would say they would even respect you more, value you more. So what do we want? Do we want people in our life who are not with truth in their own lives? Or do we want those people in our life, maybe new relationships, who are, no matter how difficult a situation may become, they stay with the truth? We all have our subconscious patterns, right? So difficult situations do appear in our life from time to time, and they have to be kind of cleansed, they have to be cleared up. So no matter how difficult a situation may become, if I am following my inner truth, it is not possible that I will harm the other fellow. It is not possible. We are all connected from within. And the idea that we keep on harming people, hurting people, I think it's also indicative that if I am making more actions, more words, my behavior is coming from a lack of inner truth, lack of touch with the inner truth, I will hurt people. I will harm people, my own self. I will harm my own self. Because if I am not in touch with my own inner truth, it's a big torture. It's a big torture to go through that unease. So this inner world is more about getting in touch with all that is making me uneasy and telling me this is not the right way to go. For example, very little example and very day-to-day common practical example. I may be thinking about something in vicious loop, like a negative loop of thinking going on and on in my head about a person, about relationship or a situation or anything, about a kid, right? About my own kid. Now, how does, if I can pause for a moment, if I can pause and I can check within, how do I feel when I'm stuck in this negative mode of thinking? How do I feel? Do I feel easy? Do I feel light? And we will see that the answer will come, no, I don't. Then why do I allow this to happen? So anyone, I would like some comments from you. Why do we allow that vicious loop of thinking to happen even when we know, or maybe when, you may say that we actually don't know because we don't check in. We don't pause, right? We don't pause to check in what is going on within me. That is also one possibility. Even when I am checking in that I am not feeling right about this vicious loop of thinking in my head, I feel burdened and heavy. Even then we allow it to happen. Why? Think about it.
Yeah, Monica.
Yes, Gurpreet.
Yeah, personally, I feel, why we generally do not. Sorry, I've lost the
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. So I was
Uh,
asking that even when I know that this vicious loop of thinking is making me heavy, I
yeah,
keep on thinking about it. Why? Why can't I stop?
because I think this is much easier staying in the vicious loop
Hmm.
rather than really going inside and talking to your own self about the real situation.
Hmm.
Because when you go out and talk to your own self, you explore the situation, in
Hmm.
detail.
Hmm.
You get to see many side of yours,
Hmm.
right? actually, if you are a third person, you would find yourself also wrong, but you're not ready to accept it.
Beautiful.
Any person is not ready to accept that. So it's better to step out, and stay in that easy comfort area where you are okay. Vicious loop hai, it's fine, but still, it's better not to see my own follies.
Beautiful.
I personally feel that.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And although, yeah, let's explore this. I think you've said something which is very, very important. So Gurpreet ji is sharing that I am afraid that if I may take a pause and look within, I may find many faces of me which are ugly in nature, my own manipulative agendas in operation. So I prefer to go on in that effortless habit that has become a kind of my second nature, which is to go on and on in my thinking loop, vicious loop. Right? And I think this is so true. But at the same time, I'm actually asking you, is it like more difficult to look at yourself in your ugliness? Or is it equally difficult to stay in the vicious loop? Because that is also uneasy. It's not that it's comforting in nature, right? So, which difficulty do I choose? Because both are difficult. Now, here comes free will. What difficulty do I choose? Do I choose being uneasy for hours and hours and landing up drained of energy just because I don't want to look at my own follies? One. Two, do I want now to take up this another difficulty, which is looking at myself bluntly in the mirror and realizing my own follies, my own manipulative agendas? As Kabir has said, बुरा जो देखन मैं चला बुरा ना मिलिया कोई, जो मन खोजा आपना मुझसे बुरा ना कोई. And it's true for each one of us. I cannot say that you are much worse than me. We are equally worse. So which difficulty do I choose? This is free will. And we will see the moment I am becoming aware of this free will existing in me, which path do I choose for myself today? I think we reclaim our power. Yes, it will be difficult. There's no easy way. Am I ready for the other adventure? And this is up to us. It's completely up to us. One more thing I would like to add here is the thing that I am not able to let go of, that vicious loop of negative visualization about a person, about a situation, about my life and all that in general, is that I am attached somewhere. There is an object of attachment in that domain. And what does desire or attachment tell me? What is the kind of a mirage they show me? They show me, Monica, you will get something which you don't have right now. They kind of try to bribe me. And if I am unaware, I am caught. And I say, if I am not anchored in that moment, because moment to moment we can slip, right? In that moment, if I am not anchored in my inner truth, it becomes my blind spot, and I'm taken away as if in a sway, and I say, yes, you will give me something. And what I realize is that even when I'm following my object of desire or attachment, I don't feel very nice about it. I do keep on feeling unworthy about it. Right? Something is still not right. I'm following my desire, I'm following the attachment. Something is still not right. So in that, if I can check in and pause, what is this happening? Because we all have different blind spots in our life. I call this a blind spot, where something comes and takes me away from my inner truth. This is our blind spot. We all have different blind spots. For example, if I see my own life, there are 100 people in front of whom I am not afraid of speaking my inner truth, of being who I am, shamelessly who I am, right? But there may be one or two persons, or maybe 10,000 more, in front of whom I sway from my inner truth. I am not able to take my stand, grounding. Now, what is hiding in there? Those people, those situations are showing me something. They are giving me a bribe. That bribe may also be connected to some inner child, some childhood memory actually. That how I began taking the self-worth from outside people. And now because this person is giving me self-worth, so I am making him the anchor of my life. He's making me feel nice about myself. So when it comes to him, I compromise with my inner truth. When it comes to other people, I don't compromise. But when it comes to this person, I begin to compromise on my inner truth and I don't feel nice. I end up feeling very, very bad. So just throwing this out in front of you, can we become more sensitive to this sensing within? And at the end of the talk, I would like to leave you with a little kind of a story, exactly, which will help us more see it in kind of a practical stance. So I would also use a few lines from the mother and Sri Aurobindo, who kind of talk about inner truth and also kind of being in touch with it, and how important it is actually for all of us, for each one of us, how important it is to stay in touch with our inner truth. No matter how many years we may have been swayed, it does not matter. Anytime I realize, yes, today I want to begin a new life where I want to be more and more in touch with my inner truth, that is the day. There is never too late, although it's never too early also, but it's never too late. So first thing that I want to now, from Sri Aurobindo's and mother's words, I want to kind of put in front of you is that this inner truth will be put to test each moment. Each moment I will have the free will. Where do I go? Do I become a bad person in front of someone but follow my inner truth? Or do I become a good person in front of someone and, sorry, I lost it. Do I become a bad person in front of someone and follow my inner truth? Or do I become, I'm ready to face the bad person in me, if people want to call me that, but I'm following my inner truth. So I'm having the peace and stillness there in the mind, in the heart, that yes, I am who I am in this moment. Right? So this will be put to test each moment. Then mother says that if we look back, we feel almost that in some circumstance or other we could have done better, even though each minute the action was dictated by inner truth. Now this is not a stagnant reality. Inner truth is not a stagnant reality. That जो मैंने कर दिया 5 साल पहले, if I have done it in my inner truth, if today if I look back at the same instance which actually was done in my own inner truth, yes, I would see that I could have done it better. I could have chosen better words. I could have chosen something else for my expression. Right? And why this? This is because the universe is in perpetual motion. It's perpetually evolving. So it is not possible that our inner truth does not evolve. Our understanding does not evolve. I found this really beautiful actually. That what I felt was true for me 5 years ago, which was actually coming from my inner truth only. Now after 5 years of that instance, if I look back at it, I will see that yes, it is only now partly true and something more understanding has come up in my being. I really found it beautiful. So it's as if, everything is evolving along with us. The whole universe is evolving. The inner truth is also evolving. Yeah, in the meantime, anything, if anything, just type it in the chat window or unmute and share. Yeah. Yes. So the next point is that how do we feel when we hurt someone? I would say 100% of us would say we don't feel nice hurting someone. Why don't we feel nice? We may done it, we may have done it or still do it in impulse, in kind of an impulse of anger or rage or hatred or jealousy. We may do it, but at the end of it, we don't feel nice about it. What is this feeling nice and not nice? It just tells me that this is not my true nature. It's not coming from my inner truth. This is the signal. So we can ask ourselves, we can take more pauses in the day. Do I feel nice if I say this comment to a person? Why do I still say it? And then we will see that there are subconscious patterns lurking around which are propelling us to act that way, the impulses that we act from. Can I find out for myself what is the subconscious pattern that is ruling in this moment? Because I think it is possible to find it out. It is possible. So how I go about it is that I sincerely ask myself, why is this happening again and again? And I don't want to follow this loop again. And I usually get the answers in dream state, like in sleeping, half awake state. It may be different for other persons, some may get their answers in meditative pose, wherever one gets it. But it is possible to rule out, to fish out, like mother says, with a forceps. It is possible to fish out that manipulative pattern which has been ruling me so far, out of which I act and I end up feeling bad, 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 bad. And I feel that I have no power over it. And this is the joy of self-discovery. It also can bring a little bit of shame that, oh my God, this ugliness was there. Like Gurpreet ji was sharing, it's difficult to face oneself. But again, which difficulty do I want to choose? I would like to choose going through this difficulty of fishing my own manipulative agendas or even subconscious patterns which I am not aware of out, fishing them out, no matter how ugly they are, because I want to live shamelessly and I know that I have to transform these patterns. If I don't shed the light of consciousness on them, they will forever be there. What do I want? So again, free will comes. I choose what kind of life do I still want to continue that dreamy half awake state in my own life, unconscious living, or do I want to be conscious of even the subconscious patterns in me? What do I want? Even a child, when a child hurts the other child out of an impulse, the child does not like it. He does not have a nice feeling about it. He would never say that I liked hitting that person. Or if he is able to say that, I think it's very hard on him. Why? Because the child is connected to the inner truth. He is not feeling nice about it. And we are also a child. We are all child of the divine. So can we also be sensitive to this inner truth? Now, as Ritu was sharing that she would like to know more of rejection. Here comes rejection in the picture. Inner truth is hand in hand with rejection. I will have to reject many thoughts which make me uneasy. I will have to reject many situations where I don't feel easy. I feel this is not the right way for me to go. This does not give me anything. So here comes rejection. You will have to say no. We will all have to say no to people who we think are our family members. But we will have to say no to them because something or some other thing is not in alignment with my inner truth. And if the other person really is with truth, he will have to understand. And if the other person is not with truth, we have to actually let it go. What do I want? Mother says that there is something in our depths which has a feeling of perfection. All of us have that. Which has a feeling of perfection, a greatness, a truth, and is painfully contradicted by all the movements opposing this truth. So we see this happening in our life. Right? We all see that at every moment we are put to test because we have contradictions in life. I want to follow my inner truth, but here comes this fellow who has been living with me for 20-30 years, and in front of him I have to say, no boy, I don't want to go there anymore because I have woken up to my inner truth and this does not feel right to me, boy. Now that guy will have to understand. The courage that you are showing is contagious. That guy will also have to understand and again stand up for his courage. Or maybe if he's not able to, then one has to part ways. So it's a challenging situation. What is at stake? At stake is all our relationships which have become our habit from the past. This is the stake. And the other thing is that I myself, my whole life is at stake. Kabir says, मैं मेरा घर जा रिया, लिया पलीता हाथ, जो जारे घर आपना, चले हमारे साथ. We will have to burn our comfort boundaries. Ghar means anything that we have felt so far that, okay, this is me. My relationships are me. My family is me. If I am awakening now to my inner truth, they'll have to transform, they will have to transmute, or they will have to shatter. New relationships will be born, which are coming out of truth and not pleasing each other and not blood relations. New relationships will come. What do I choose? And again, as I shared earlier, we may be able to follow inner truth with some and some very easily in our life, at some occasions, at few situations in our life very easily. But at other points, we are not able to follow that inner truth. Now, these are the points which are our points of progress. Why? Because these are the points where I am attached. Why I am attached, only I will find out. There may be subconscious tendency ruling me from the past, from childhood. And because I associate with it that this person, it gives me some sense of self-worth. I am not able to say no to this person or yes, whatever is required by the truth. Only each one of us individually can fish out what is it that I am hiding from my own sight and this relationship wants to show me. And as Gurpreet ji was sharing, it is an ugly game. But then it's all ugly and beautiful together, right? Life is not just beauty, beauty, beauty. It's also many parts of ugliness. And that is our task. We have to transform that ugliness. So if I say that, yeah, my bed is not dirty, it's all clean, and stay always in the other room, it does not make my bed clean. One day I have to get up and face that dirty bed. And I have to own it with responsibility. Yes, it is my bed. I own it. But now I want it clean. Shamelessly clean. What do I want? I think it boils down again and again. Where do I want to be right now? Yeah, anything so far? Okay. Now, Mother talks about sincerity, because on this path, sincerity is something which is absolute necessity. Without sincerity, nothing can happen. So, when Mother says that when you are absolutely sincere, you make a constant effort to live in harmony with the highest ideal of your being, which is your truth of the being. Constant effort. Kabir says, Das Kabir ne jatan se odi. So we cannot say that because this path is easy, I will take this. This path is not easy. It is difficult. But which difficulty I want to choose? So now a constant, each moment by moment, I am aware of my truth. Many a times I slip. Yes, I slip. But then I reflect. What did I just do? Why did I do that? Where was that word coming from? Where was this action coming from? And as and when we become ready, we pause more and more. Because in the beginning, we are not ready for that pause all the time. So for example, in 100 moments of the day, I may be able to pause only 2 times. That is okay. That's a beautiful start. But the more and more I get a taste of this dish called inner truth, I begin to like it. It makes me feel myself. So what I do is first get a taste of it, and then slowly I change my lifestyle, my habits, centered around this taste which I have got. Kabir says, Ram ras मीठो घणो, and Kabir says कि मेरे को फिर पीवण दी आस, कि मेरे को इसका टेस्ट लग गया है और बार बार टेस्ट करने का मन करता है. This is how inner truth works in life. If one gets a taste of it, it's hard to reverse it because it is our nature. We will not be able to reverse it. And we will see slowly that this is where I always wanted to be. No matter how difficult this sounds and appears also. Because this is continuing progress. Continuously in day-to-day life, I am observing myself, looking at myself, pausing to take these pauses within. And I am rediscovering myself. ऐसी ऐसी चीजें मुझे अपने में से पता लगती हैं जो पहले कभी देखी नहीं. My inner childhood wounds are clearing up. And I did not even know that they exist. I did not even know that those childhood patterns had become myself and they were ruling my life in a robotic mode. I did not know that. But now I know. How beautiful a discovery, self-discovery. And the self that we are because of being in the image of the divine. It's an endless, fathomless self. So the process of self-discovery is endless process. We will never get bored of it. What a beautiful thing to keep oneself occupied for a lifetime. Layer by layer, treasures are being revealed to me. Layers by layer, I am being kind of, more myself. So yes, again coming back to sincerity, that I make it a constant effort day by day, moment and moment, in as much capacity as I can. And mother says that if you are like that, if you are absolutely sincere, and sincerity again is a continuing journey. One, I cannot ever say that I am absolutely sincere. It is not possible because it's a constant evolution. So mother says if you are like that, if you truly do not act from egoistic motives, it's a very tough state, but one can, go there, one can walk towards it. If truly you do not act from egoistic motives or for personal reasons, if you act guided by your inner truth, it does not matter who judges you or in what way. In this perfect sincerity, you do not need to appear good, being shamelessly whatever you are, shamelessly myself. In this perfect sincerity, you do not need to appear good or to be approved by others. Now, this seeking approval from others now goes down and down and down. I am not seeking approval from anyone because now I know in this moment this is my reality. I have gotten an inner approval. तो अब मुझे किसी को खुश नहीं करना. People may call me arrogant at times, we may be called names. It's okay. I know that I am not doing it out of my arrogance. I am doing it from an inner knowing. Right? And many a times, as I was saying earlier, even our egoistic motives are hidden from our eyes. And that is the importance of being sensitive to the inner world. Why did I just do that? Again and again, we slip many a times. Umpteen number of times we slip. And then the next time that the same situation comes, I am able to say no to that repeated pattern of behavior. Only when I want to do that, only when I am becoming more and more conscious of that yes, I realize that this inner pattern was ruling me, but I don't want it to rule me anymore. I am capable. I will take charge of my life. Thank you, pattern. Right? So pattern has served me so far. It's not that the pattern did not serve me, but in my unconsciousness, I did not realize that it's now started to abuse me, that pattern. The moment the light of consciousness dawns upon that pattern, it sublimates like as if it wasn't there. Sublimates forever. It sublimates forever. This is the guarantee. Provided the light of understanding truly has penetrated it, then it will not be repeated again. Because now someone else is in charge, not the pattern. So this sincerity is ever perfecting sincerity. I can be always more and more and more sincere. And mother says that one must never pretend that one is. One must be. Just being yourself. We have lost touch with that being ourselves. In years of pretending and pretending and pretending, we don't know how to be ourselves. And that is the importance of getting in touch with these inner movements. The moment I sense an unease, I realize this is not myself. I must not follow that path. Because I end up feeling really miserable and I don't want to be there. And this mixture of, we have a very old kind of mixture running in our lives. The mixture coming from past lives. The mixture coming from even this life. Childhood years, teenage years. That mixture will keep on coming up for its cleansing. And that is where our inner truth will be put to test. Many a time that mixture will become so overwhelming that I will not be able to follow my inner truth. It's okay. We all fail. The moment I am ready to realize it, that yes, these many years of running around feeling miserable, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be kind to myself. There you can make a change. Whenever we are ready. I want to follow where do I feel worthy within my being. I don't want to kind of, take this sense of worthiness from other people around me. They may praise or criticize. That is a different matter. But not making them my anchor of self-worth. Self-worth is totally a personal thing. Andar ki baat. If I am putting the heaviness or burden of give me self-worth from some other person, we will always be disappointed. We may not be disappointed for the initial few years, just as shadi hoti hai, Many a times the few months, early months are very beautiful. Each person is supporting each other's self-worth. So we have put the anchor outside of self-worth and each person is supporting it. But for how long? Everyone has their own life. And then we lose that support. And then when we found ourselves dumbfounded, what have I done? Why do I feel not easy, right about it? What just happened? Nothing happened. I had put my anchor of self-worth coming from outside. Now that khamba is taken away from me and I am down on my nose on the ground. I just have to put up that anchor and put it within. Place that anchor within my being where it always belonged. So this is how we need to be constantly aware of what is going within my being, what is happening within my being. We always are so aware, so well read about news, right? All the things happening in the share market, all the times, everything. Just like that, there is a beautiful world inside also. Ugly, beautiful, both. Full of complexities. Waiting for itself to be attended actually. Because if we are not aware of this inner world, we cannot be the master of our lives. We will always remain a puppet of the subconscious patterns of people, of their approvals, of their smiles, of whatever they do to us. Just because I have put this anchor outside of self-worth, which should be actually placed within, which is its true place, its right place. So we can ask, where am I in this phase of life right now? What do I want to do? Do I want to begin to walk this path towards myself? Not difficult, I know. Oh, sorry, it's not easy, I know. It's difficult, I know. But it's worth walking. Because the other path I have seen for those many years. It's not that I have not seen that. Right? So where do I want to be? One asks again and again. So this mixture will come up again and again and we will be put to test, but then one has to again and again align oneself to the inner truth back again, back again, back again. No matter how many times we fail. Yeah. So mother says, if your aim is to be free in the freedom of the spirit, we all want that. If I ask today each one of you, each one of you, if I ask, who wants freedom? We all want it, And the true freedom is the freedom of the spirit. Where nothing can touch us, nothing can sway us. So mother says, if your aim is to be free in the freedom of the spirit, you must get rid of all the ties that are not the inner truth of your being. It's a long journey, it's a hard path, but it's worth the adventure. I'll have to lose friends, new friends will be made. I'll have to lose my old habits of thoughts because they are not serving me well. I end up feeling miserable after those unconscious loops of thinking. So I choose not to follow that. I'll have to lose all that. The continuous feelings I indulge myself into, feeling this, feeling that, making myself more miserable again and again. Now that I decide to align myself in this inner truth, I would say, no, I don't want it. This is what rejection is. The ability to say no to the unconscious patterns and also to those external situations which sway me away from my inner truth. I don't want to be there because I owe myself this life. All your relations must be newly built upon an inner freedom of choice. This is what mother says. Usually we get relations in kind of a byproduct, right? This is your blood brother, this is your blood sister, all that. So mother says that now all the relations will be found on this new inner freedom of choice. I want to have this relation because this is truthful. This keeps me on track. I choose. Are we ready for that? One has to ask. Because we'll be redefining ourselves each moment. The old Monica will be gone. A new Monica will emerge. A new Ritu will emerge. New Ruchika will emerge. And people may say, hey, terko kya ho gaya? You don't behave like what you were yesterday. And you will say, yes, I am redefining myself. I am reinventing myself. How long can one remain just the same? 20 years I have remained the same. So one has to shamelessly kind of own oneself, And that is why Kabir's warrior. Kabir says it's a warrior's path. Shameless path. You will have wounds and wounds on your skin and still you will be marching on, not giving up. Because something within you knows this is the right path to follow. That is what inner truth is. That is what inner knowing is. Knowing what is right in this moment. Standing up with face to face with all the rejections, all the misapprovals, disapprovals from other people who used to otherwise approve you earlier. Owning oneself with all the uglinesses and all the beauty. And we also need to be, aware of these subconscious patterns that rule us. As mother says, if they are not coming from the inner truth, all the ties, all the actions, if they are not coming from your inner truth, be sensitive to them. They are coming from subconscious habits. And as I was saying earlier, one can actually rule out the exact habit, exact subconscious pattern that was making me feel miserable again and again, ending up, again repeating that action again and again. Exact thing can be ruled out. As if we connect the dots, Oh, this is where it was coming from. Now I know. And now when I'm grown up, so-called grown up, and I don't need that pattern anymore, I can say, thank you pattern, I don't need you. Thank you for living my life so far. Now just coming on to rejection. Lastly, and in the meantime, if there are any day-to-day practical questions which you may have, just feel free to ask. So coming on to rejection in a little kind of detail, maybe some points I may have missed earlier. Rejection is the ability to say a no. also to people, persons, situations, but also to my own thoughts and feelings. Because my own thoughts and feelings are also outsiders, they are not insiders. Just because they are within me, so-called body and being, it does not mean that they are insider. Because if they were insider, I would feel very fine being jealous. I would feel very comfortable, full of anger and full of hate, but I don't. So also saying, having the courage to say no jealousy, no hatred, no anger, I don't want to follow you because I have found where I need to be and I will be there rather. You don't serve me well anymore. So owning your inner sanctuary, imagine that you had a farm and you were out somewhere and your farm was full of these animals and all the deers and reindeers and all that, they crowded your farm. Now, as long as you were not there, they were dancing around. It's okay. The moment the farm keeper is back, they have no right on this land. So here comes rejection, where I reject all that which is unnecessary to make myself more pure and pure. And myself, actually making myself my own self. And now I am here. The farm keeper is here. And now I will take care of this farm. Your effort was needed so far maybe because I was not conscious enough, but not anymore. So you reclaim your sanctuary back. So it's all a game within going on. Others are just indicators. Others are just pointers. Each person in our life, they are just pointers. The real war is going on within myself and with myself. That myself which I used to call earlier as myself has to be let go of. A new definition, constant redefining of ourselves. Because we are so huge, we are humongous, we are made in the light of the divine. We are limitless. How can these little experiences define us? So we can actually own them completely because they don't define us. And yet, in this moment, I am saying this to you. And in the other moment, I'll be a prey to my impulses and subconscious patterns. That is what life is about. But then I will get up again. And I will have rediscovered new subconscious pattern of me, which I was unaware of. I will get up again. Sona sadhu sajjan साधुजन सोना सज्जन साधुजन टूटे जुड़े 100 बार दुर्जन कुंभ कुम्हार के एक धके दरार. तो कबीर कहते हैं सोना जो आग में जैसे कहते हैं ना पकाते हैं, सोना सज्जन और साधुजन जो साधक है जिसने मान लिया कि मुझे तो अब साधना ही है एट एनी कॉस्ट, इनको हम कितनी बार भी तोड़ लें, कितने भी भयानक एक्सपीरियंसेस से गुजरे ये लोग, टूटे जुड़े 100 बार, because they know they are higher than their experiences, they are bigger, limitless than their experiences. दुर्जन कुंभ कुमार के एक धके दरार. If I am weak, if I am not ripe enough, I will be broken in a shatter. Where do I want to be? How do I want to recreate this life? Because I can. We all can. No matter how ugly we have been in past, or maybe, we don't even know about our past lives. The moment our past lives come to us, right now, if the whole chitta comes in front of me, all the murders and rapes and all maybe I have done, I will not be able to look at it. And we all have that history. But still, we all walk on. दुर्जन कुंभ कुम्हार के एक धके दरार, सोना साधु सज्जन, सोना सज्जन साधु जन टूटे जुड़े 100 बार. So it's okay to shatter, it's okay to break, but it's okay also to recollect, redefine, reinvent ourselves, because we owe it to ourselves. We really owe it to ourselves, This is our birthright. Our birthright is to find ourselves. No one can stop me to find me and to recreate and reinvent this life. No matter how ugly it has been so far. There will be more uglinesses coming up. But then that is how the dualities merge. I am owning the ugliness and the beauty in me. I never said that I am just beautiful. Right? I did not claim it. So what is the matter if I am ugly too in this moment? The moment I own my ugliness, I become beautiful. I become graceful. The moment I own my ugliness. Because there is actually nothing called ugly. It is just waiting to be discovered. The light is hidden in the ugliness. Yeah. So mother says on rejection that the necessity of not admitting into ourselves any thought that destroys aspiration or the creation of truth of our being. अब हमको अपने विचारों के प्रति बहुत ज्यादा सतर्क रहना है, विजिलेंस. Mother says that we have to be very, very careful. We have to do not admit any thought that destroys my aspiration, my willingness to live a new life, or to create any thought that contradicts my inner truth. I don't have to allow that. और उसमें सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज मैं खुद हूं. कैसे? क्योंकि मैं देखूंगी कि मेरे में एक पैटर्न ऑफ थिंकिंग है जो बार बार आता है. मे बी इट इज रिलेटेड टू माई सेल्फ वर्थ. इट मे बी कमिंग फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड. And if I want more clarity, I can ask myself, show me in dreams, where is it coming from? I can ask, the answer will be given. So the moment that conscious loop of thinking, unconscious loop of thinking enters my being about my self-worth and all that, feeling unworthy and all that, or comparing myself with others, I immediately say, no, you are not allowed. Because this contradicts with my inner truth. I don't feel nice when I'm thinking you. And slowly that loop of thinking will not come actually. It will feel unattended. Just like there is, if the example I use here is, if there is an auntie, she's a neighbor or an uncle who keeps on coming to your house and he usually gives just shit, he talks shit. So what you do, after some time you don't attend it. You don't answer his statements or comments. How many times he will keep on coming back again? He will come 1 day, 2 days, and then he will see, yeah, this guy is not giving me attention. I don't want to come here. And this is how the patterns also then lose us. They don't then have this kind of a hold upon us. So it's me, it's my energy that fueling that pattern. The more I attend it, the more it says, yes, I am welcome here. So it keeps on coming back. The moment I involve myself in something more detoxifying, which is my way of life, with whatever I decide with myself, it will not come. बोलेगा मेरे को तो कोई ध्यान ही नहीं देता यहाँ पे, मैं आऊं क्यों? उसमें आग डालनी ही बंद कर दिया आपने, फ्यूल देना, पेट्रोल देना बंद कर दिया. It will not come. So it's me, it's my attention, my conscious focus on those thoughts which is fueling them. Mother says that it is bad to concentrate upon what one does not want. So one has to reject, and the more we dwell on it, we give it the right to exist. That pattern, that loop of thinking. So this is what rejection is. not letting destructing suggestions, thoughts of ill will, hatred, or destruction enter. Merely to think of them is already to give them a power of realization. So do I actually want that hatred to manifest in life? And if I don't, then I have to really stop thinking about it. And we can do that. We all can do that, you know. Yeah. So I think I would kind of take a pause here and like to ask you if anything is coming up regarding our, you know, day-to-day practices, actually, day-to-day how it bothers us. You know, many a times we are kind of stuck. We are not able to find a way. So anything coming out is welcome, and you can, if you want, you can share in the chat window or unmute and share. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Sakshi. So Sakshi is sharing, how can I control my thoughts? I keep getting unwanted thoughts and cannot get rid of it. Beautiful. Sakshi, this is, I think, a question that you've asked for all of us. All of us suffer from such thoughts which go loop again and again, go in loop, and we are not able to do something about it. So, you know, if continuous thoughts, a loop of thoughts is bothering me, I see it happening, then I have to find out that there is some part in me which feels that I will gain something out of this loop of thinking. Find out, connect deeply with that part of you. Some part of me is convinced that there is something more than inner peace, something more in life I will get out of that continuous thinking. Go close, you know, because the topic of this uh, theme today is inner world, where we pause, we sit with ourselves, we try to go close. So go close to yourself, ask yourself, maybe write it down, you know, where and what is this part in me which is so convinced that I will get something out of it. Because if you don't get in touch with that part in you, then you will be ruled by it, right? It will remain hidden and it will rule you, which is at the moment the case. So if I really want to understand why this is happening and why I call myself, but my thoughts also are not in my control. So what is myself? It's as if a robotic thing running on and on and on. So if I can request you, you know, sit, give yourself time if you want to really resolve this. See, one is just that this question comes once in a year or once in 1 month and you don't actually want to do anything about it. You know, this can also happen. The other thing is that this question is a pressing need. You want to do something about it. Only in the latter case something can happen. If I really want to know how can I control my thoughts and why do I keep on getting these so-called unwanted thoughts? You are calling them unwanted. I don't think they are unwanted. Something in you wants it. Connect with that something within. What part of me wants those so-called unwanted thoughts? कुछ मैग्नेट है मेरे अंदर जो बार बार उस आयरन को अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है. It is not possible that there is nothing in me and the iron fillings are still coming on to me again and again. है ना साक्षी? It's not possible. So find out what is that magnet which is calling you, calling those iron fillings of unwanted thoughts. So a part of me is saying that they are unwanted. But as if कि मेरे ही अंदर two parties are there. You know, if I can say two countries which are opposite to each other, which are so-called enemies. One wants, the other says these are unwanted, throw them away. So what have I to do? I have to get in touch deeply with that part in me which is wanting those unwanted thoughts and ask it, hey boy, what do you want? What do you think those thoughts are going to give you? Write it down. So this is what I would like to share here with you, Sakshi, because there must be some magnet which is pulling those iral fillings of unwanted thoughts within you. What is that magnet? Only you can. Yes, only you can do that. No one else can do it for you. And that is why I asked, you must want it really strongly. If it is just a passing question, we will not get it. We will not get to the roots. But if we want to get to the roots, then only you are the microscope with which you can go to the detail and the finest details. Okay, this is the guy, and then you pick it out with the forceps, throw it away. And then you can master your thoughts. Yeah. Thank you for the question. I think beautiful question. Yeah. Anything else, friends? Yeah, okay. In that case, I think no questions anymore. So I'm ready to kind of call it a day. I've shared enough kind of pointers and hints from my side, and just this reminded me actually, good that before leaving I reminded myself. So I wanted to share this little kind of a fiction story, if I can say. Maybe it gives us a little idea, or maybe invokes us to reflection, to a kind of a reflection. So let us take an example. A person X begins to praise person Y, right? And it's not that the Y was consciously seeking or needing praise. It's not like that. But X gives Y some praise. And now the praise is given constantly, like an approval, like an acceptance is given constantly. Constantly it is given. Now praise is something which is deceptive. It may appear very nice in the beginning, right? But it's, I would say, more often than not, it is a sugar coated poison. So now taking on this weight of praise, Y is now allowing the external situation, which is X in this moment. Y is allowing X to push Y in the air, right? Now, if Y can stop and be sensitive to his inner feelings, how do I feel when I am thrown up in the air? Actually, I don't feel myself, I feel something is haywire. So then he can actually see that why am I liking this company of X? Because X makes me feel up in the air. But Y does not stop. Y does not tune in to the inner world in this aspect. Right? When this relationship is concerned, Y does not tune in. Now, the ego is boosted again and again, and Y is unaware in this aspect and keeps on enjoying this. Now, what happens in time? Things change, right? And Y has now, in this aspect, Y has gotten off track from his inner truth. Because if we are up in the air, we are not grounded, we are definitely away from our inner truth. And it has become more like an addiction. Like this praise has become, approval has become more like an addiction. So Y has started to derive his self-worth from X now. So the anchor is outside. Now times change, and now things change, situations change, and what was happening in the past does not happen now. The same feeling of up in the air and getting the sense of self-worth from X does not happen. And because this was an addiction, uh, it more like begins to have a withdrawal effect. We all go through addictions of several kinds, and then we have this withdrawal effect where we don't know, we are confused what to do, what just happened, right? Now what to do? Why feels again and again in a bad place? He feels bad again and again. He's not able to get to the roots of the issue, that why do I end up feeling bad again and again in this respect? Now what can happen? One thing which can happen, which will be so beautiful, is that the why stops, pauses, tunes within. It will be hard, because when we are leaving our addictions, for example, even a simple addiction like of a cigarette, of a beer or anything else, it is hard in the beginning. So tuning in that respect will not be very easy. But if why allows itself to tune in, then why will realize, oh, no, I have been anchoring myself in the approval given by Y, X. And now when X was not giving me approval, which I don't know when it shifted, it just shifted. I did not know, I was caught unaware. Then the Y has the capacity to realize, yes, this is the thing, this is why, because I had kind of given away my power to someone else to make me feel worthy and nice. This was why I was ending up feeling bad and bad again and again, again and again. And now Y has the courage and strength that Y can reclaim his territory back, and ask himself that what do I want? I want my inner territory back. This self-worth should come only from me, and I should not be dependent on anybody else, no matter how many times I may fail, on having this self-worth, because we all want self-worth. We all are worthy, but that worth has to come from within. And this is how, off tracking from his inner truth, stumbling, failing, Y can again align himself with his inner truth, reinventing himself, rediscovering himself. Yeah. So I think this is what I wanted to leave you with. Yeah. So thanks for joining. And those of us who would like to still be in touch, because we do a lot of activities, they can just message us separately, or maybe type their number here, and then I can get in touch with you. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for all your comments and questions. Thank you, Ritu. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Gurpreet ji.